This is Tom Grassi, and this is 30 and 30, and you're watching Illogical Canadian.
Bonjour mes amis, je suis le Lâcher Canadien, and welcome back to another week in review. This week fucking sucked. And it wasn't even because of the gameplay. It was more so because of what happened. Players kept getting injured left, right, and center. Teams don't know how to play football. The Cowboys are still the goddamn Cowboys. And everything else in between. There's just going to be so much to talk about this week. It's not even funny. Let's just get ourselves into it. So our first game we got the Minnesota Vikings taking the trip down to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. This was an okay game. Both teams actually looked very competitive and both had a legitimate shot at winning this game. But one had to win this game. You can already see who won at the top with the little score graphic right above me. For the Vikings, Kirk Cousins went 31 for 44, 364 yards and 4 touchdowns. Holy shit. For rushing, it was Alexander Madison's day. 8 carries for 28 yards. For receiving, come on, it's Justin Jefferson. 11 carries for 159 yards. Need I say more about that man? For the Eagles, Jalen Hurts went 18 for 23, 193 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. DeAndre Swift proved once again to be a fucking beast, carrying the ball 28 times for 175 yards and a touchdown. Whoo! And for receiving, Devonta Smith caught it 4 times for 131 yards and a touchdown. Vikings take this game easily. No, not Vikings. I'm sorry. The Eagles take this game easily. The Vikings struggles continue as they fall to the Eagles 34 to 28. As a Patriots fan, I'm wondering where I've seen that score before. Hey, Atlanta fans. 28 to 3. Eh. But anyway, Eagles win this game. They're 2-0. Vikings are 0-2, and I don't get it. They don't look that good. Something's going to change, Minnesota. What's it going to be? For the next matchup, we got ourselves the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cincinnati Bengals at Paycor Field. This is a closer game, and this is a lot better game played by Cincinnati today. But I just don't understand what is wrong. Could it be the fact that you A, rushed Joe Burrow back from injury, B, you rushed Joe Burrow back from injury, or C, you rushed Joe Burrow back from injury? For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson went 24 for 33, 237 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gus Edwards carried the ball 10 times for 62 yards and a touchdown. Only reason Gus Edwards is the new RB1 in Baltimore is because last week in the game against Houston, J.K. Dobbins' season came to an end when he tore his pec. I think he was actually tore his Achilles, I believe. So yeah, he tore his Achilles. And Marcus Williams, I think his name was, he tore his pec. He's out for the season on the defensive side of the ball for Baltimore. For receiving, Nelson Aguilar caught the ball 5 times for 63 yards and a touchdown, leading the day for them. For Cincinnati, Joe Burrow went 27 for 41, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Joe Mixon carried the ball 13 times for 59 yards. And for receiving, T. Higgins caught it 8 times for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. You gotta love to see T. Higgins performing so well. But the Bengals, on the other hand, just couldn't pull it out. Despite getting close, they weren't close enough. Baltimore takes this game 27 to 24. And Cincinnati's got a lot of thinking to do because now they're 0-2. How do they approach the team from here on? Only time will tell. Our next game takes us to Detroit, Michigan, where the Lions play host to the Seattle Seahawks, the team that knocked the Lions out of the playoffs last season at the very end. This is kind of like Detroit's little rematch game for that. But the same token, it's a good game. The way this game went and everything, it was a great game. And both teams really showed up. For Seattle, Geno Smith went 32 for 41, 328 yards, 28 to 3, and 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker carried the ball 17 times for 43 yards and 2 touchdowns. And for receiving, DK Metcalf caught it 6 times for 75 yards. For the Lions, Jared Goff went 20 for 35, 323 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. David Montgomery carried it 16 times on the ground for 67 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, it was Amon-Ra St. Brown catching it 6 times for 102 yards. Despite their efforts, Detroit falls short as Seattle takes the win 37 to 31 in overtime. Again, it was a great game, but I don't know. Hopefully you can win next week, Detroit. I mean, you managed to beat Kansas City, right? We have ourselves an AFC South matchup in Houston as the Texans play host to the Indianapolis Colts. This was a better game for CJ Stroud. Anthony Richardson, I believe, played a little bit today, but he was knocked out of the game with a concussion. So taking a bulk of the game action is Gardner Minshew. Combined, both quarterbacks went 25 for 33. About, 227 passing yards and a touchdown. Zach Moss led rushing today, 18 carries, 88 yards, and a touchdown. And for receiving, Michael Pittman Jr. continues to dominate, 8 receptions for 56 yards. For Houston, this is where I said CJ Stroud looked a lot better. 30 for 47, 384 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Damon Pierce carried the ball 15 times today for 31 yards only. For receiving, it was all Nico Collins, 7 receptions, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Despite this, Houston, you still can't win. You fall to Indy 31 to 20, but that's not the main story here. Let's take a live look inside your fan base. Oh wait, they're all fighting. They're fighting and they're fighting and they're fighting. Jesus Christ, they show more fight in that freaking video than what you guys did against the Ravens in week 1. Woof. For our next matchup, we got the Chicago Bears taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay coming off that win last week against Minnesota. Chicago just continuing to have a fortitude to suck. But who knows? For Chicago, Justin Fields went 16 for 29, 211 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Khalil Herbert carried the ball 7 times for 35 yards. For receiving, DJ Moore caught it 6 times for 104 yards. At least Justin Fields has some sort of weapon. For Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield went 26 for 34, 317 yards, and a touchdown. Rachaad White carried it 17 times for 73 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, it was Mike Evans' day, 6 receptions, 171 yards, and a touchdown. Tampa Bay again shows that Baker Mayfield can play football, and as they beat the Bears 27-17, improving to 2-0. The Bears, man, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good at all. For our next matchup, we welcome back Travis Kelce to the Kansas City Chiefs as they travel on down to Jacksonville, Florida to take on the Jaguars. Well, the day before, Travis Etienne's brother, Trevor Etienne, was killing it on the field for Florida. Travis Etienne, I guess, kind of did the same against Kansas City in this game, but to a lesser extent. For Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes went 29 for 41, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Isaiah Pacheco carried it 12 times for 70 yards. And for receiving, Sky Moore caught it 3 times for 70 yards and a touchdown. One of Patrick Mahomes' touchdown passes found a blank space to Travis Kelce, who wrote his name on the football. as he got a touchdown. You guys already know where I'm going with that punt, so I don't even need to say it. For Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence went 22 for 41, 216 yards. Travis Etienne carried it 12 times for 40 yards. For receiving, Christian Kirk caught it 11 times for 110 yards. Kansas City wins this low-scoring affair by a score of 17-9. I guess the Chiefs are okay, but again, not the big story here. The big story is Chris Jones. He's back on a one-year deal, ending the holdout, and he gets what he wants. Kansas City gets what they want. They got their stars. They got their star defensive tackle back. So for them, everyone wins in this scenario. There's no losers here. So Kansas City wins. Jacksonville falls, but it's still early in the season. For this next game, we have another showdown at Mercedes-Benz as the Green Bay Packers take a trip to face the Atlanta Falcons. I feel like Jordan Love is onto something, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure. I'm serious, he's good, but I still don't get it. For Green Bay, Jordan Love went 14 for 25, 151 yards, and 3 touchdowns. A.J. Dillon ran 15 times for 55 yards. And for receiving, Tavion Wicks caught it twice for 40 yards and a touchdown. All right, not a bad start. For the Falcons, Desmond Ridder went 19 for 32, 237 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Rookie Bijan Robinson carried it 19 times for 124 yards. Jesus. And for receiving, Drake London caught it 6 times for 67 yards and a touchdown. Somehow, some way, the Atlanta Falcons beat the Green Bay Packers and are now 2-0 with Desmond Ridder. Final score 25-24. Wow. I mean, that's all I really can say is just wow. Good for you, Atlanta. You're doing something for once. For this next showdown, we got the Raiders taking on the Bills in Buffalo. And what was sure to be a good game, but, this is the Raiders. Yeah, that's how you know this game went dog shit. For the Raiders, Jimmy G went 16 for 24, 185 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Trey Tucker led with only 1 carry for 34 yards. No, I'm not shitting you. For receiving, Devontae Adams caught it 6 times for only 84 yards and a touchdown. Okay. Not bad, but still could be better. For the Bills, Josh Allen went 31 for 37, 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. James Cook ran it 17 times for 123 yards. God damn. For receiving, Gabe Davis caught it 6 times for 92 yards and a touchdown. Buffalo absolutely smoked the shit out of the Raiders. 38-10 is your final score. No one is surprised to see a Bills victory here. Me, unless you're the Jets. For our next matchup, we got the Chargers taking on the Titans in Nashville, Tennessee. And another close bout. Both quarterbacks actually putting on a show. But I still can't help but feel that this is somehow still underperforming. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert the Pervert went 27 for 41, 305 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Josh Kelly ran 13 times for 39 yards. For receiving, Keenan Allen caught it 8 times for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad start. For Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill went 20 for 24, 246 yards, and a touchdown. Derrick Henry ran 25 times for 80 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, Treylon Burks caught it 3 times for 78 yards. This game had to go to overtime like Seattle-Detroit did, and the Titans come out on top of this one 27-24. This is Chargers, you got a good team, but what the fuck are you doing? First, you lose by 2 points to fucking Miami. Now you lose by 3 points to fucking Tennessee. Are you guys okay? Is there something in the organization that I don't know about? Are you intentionally trying to get Brandon Staley fired? Because if so, you're doing a good job. For the next matchup, we got the Niners traveling on down south to SoFi to take on the Rams. In-state rivalry, divisional rivalry. You cannot help but be excited for this matchup. And what do you know? Both teams really showcased themselves today. For the Niners, big cock Brock Purdy went 17 for 25 and 206 yards. On the ground, Christian McCaffrey ran 20 times for 116 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, it was Deebo Samuel's day to shine, 6 receptions for 63 yards. For the Rams, Matt Stafford went 34 for 55, 307 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Kyron Williams carried it 14 times for 52 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, Puka Nakua, hope I'm saying that name right, caught it 15 times for 147 yards. The Rams actually kept this game close, but again, they fell short, losing to San Francisco by a final score of 30-23. It was a close game. It was a good game. But one team had to win, and in this case, it was the Niners. Good on them. The New York Giants look to redeem themselves this week as they travel on down to actually I should say Glendale, Arizona, to take on the Cardinals. This, I mean, I'll admit it, it was a bounce back, but I'll get to why this game was a joke in a minute. For the Giants, Danny Derps went 26 for 37, 321 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Saquon Barkley carried it 17 times for 63 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, Jalen Hyatt caught it twice for 89 yards. Ooh, fuck. For the Cardinals, Josh Dobbs went 21 for 31, 228 yards, and a touchdown. James Conner ran 23 times for 106 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, Michael Wilson caught it 3 times for 56 yards. The Cardinals were up 28-6 at one point, but the Giants came back and just holy shit. The Giants came back from 28-6 down and they won this game by a score of 31-28. Everyone can laugh at the Cardinals now. Ha 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 ha. Hey Jets, that was an awesome win last week. As a division rival, that was a cool ass way to win your first game of the year. To rally behind an injured quarterback and instead go with the fucker of your mother. You travel on down to Dallas to see if you guys can pertain your results a little bit. But unfortunately, things would come to a screaming halt. For the Jets, Zach Wilson, aka the fucker of your mother, went 12 for 27, 170 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Zach Wilson carried it 5 times for 36 yards. For receiving, Garrett Wilson caught it twice for 83 yards and a touchdown. Pretty good. But I also don't like how wide receivers nowadays are being used as slot receivers for some reason. For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott went 31 for 38, 255 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tony Pollard ran 25 times for 72 yards. And for receiving, who else but CD's Nut Slam? 11 receptions for 143 yards as the Cowboys stumble out of Dallas with the victory by a score of 30-10. Which means in their first 2 games, they've outscored their opponents by a score of 70-10. Fucking yikes. For this next matchup, we head to Denver as we see the Commanders take on the Denver Broncos. I swear to God, I hate saying this every goddamn week. Broncos country, just stop fucking trying. It's not going to change. For the Commanders, Sam Howell went 27 for 39, 299 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson carried it 18 times for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. For receiving, Scary Terry caught it 5 times for 54 yards and a touchdown. Overall, great game from Terry McLaurin. For the Broncos, Chef Russ went 18 for 32, 318 yards, 308 yards, sorry, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Chef Russ also carried it 6 times for 56 yards. For receiving, Marvin Mims caught it twice for 113 yards and a touchdown. The Broncos, okay, 21-3 was the lead going into half. The Commanders stormed back and then make this game 35-20, 35-20, something, 35-27. Thank you. Then the Broncos do the unthinkable, get the Hail Mary touchdown to end the game, but on the 2 points, the ref decided to be fucking blinded in a bag of shit, missed the goddamn PI, 2-point conversion's no good, Washington wins. 35-33. Broncos country. Your hope is just dead. Oh, hey, speaking of referee bullshit, let's take a trip on up to Foxborough to see the New England Patriots take on the Miami Dolphins. It's a good game. Okay, both teams played a good game, but I swear my Patriots don't know what the fuck they're doing. For the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa went 21 for 30, 249 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Raheem Mostert carried it 18 times for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. For receiving, Jalen Waddle caught it 4 times for 86 yards before leaving the game late in the fourth quarter because of concussion protocol. Yikes. For the Patriots, Mac Jones went 31 for 42, 231 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Ramondre Stevenson carried it 15 times for 50 yards. For receiving, Devontae Parker caught it 6 times for 57 yards. I'm not even going to get into the refball bullshit. Not worth it. All says fuck you refs, suck a dick. 24-17, Miami wins. They escape with the victory because this is a close one. But in the end, it's only a football game. You can only enjoy it for what it is. In the first of 2 Monday Night Football matchups, we get the sleep fest between the Saints and the Panthers in Charlotte. This game is just a sleep fest. The only scary thing that happened, though, and I hate to say it, the only notable thing that happened was Shaq Thompson. He unfortunately suffered an injury to his ankle, which is being said that is likely to end his season. You can't help but feel for the guy. And I hope that he gets better, whatever it is. But reports are speculating it's a fibular fracture. Again, I hope he gets better. I really do. For the Saints, Derek Carr went 21 for 36, 228 yards, and an interception. Taysom Hill carried it 9 times for 75 yards. For receiving, Chris Olave caught it 6 times for 86 yards. For Carolina, Bryce Young went 22 for 33, 153 yards, and a touchdown. Miles Sanders carried it 14 times for 43 yards. Receiving, it was Adam Thielen's day, 7 times for 54 yards and a touchdown through the air. Despite them being close, Carolina couldn't pull it off as they fall to New Orleans 20-17. Poor Panthers. They can never catch a break. And for the other Monday Night Football game, we get to see the annual beatdown of the Cleveland Browns by their superior opponents. The Steelers and the Browns played on the other Monday Night Football game. This one had some injuries to it as well, unfortunately. The lesser of the two evils is Minkah Fitzpatrick, who was out for the game with a chest injury. And then this one, it fucking hurts. Nick Chubb was running a play. Basically, he was running the ball. And people were comparing this to what happened to not Kirk Cousins. Washington quarterback. I can't remember his name. But basically something kind of happened to Joe Theismann almost. Because that's what happened to Nick Chubb's knee. In the same knee that back in 2015, He fucked up so bad while he was still running back at the University of Georgia. I'm wishing Nick Chubb a speedy recovery, and hopefully he gets to come back and play again. That's how bad the injury was. But other than that, this game was a fucking gong show. Holy fucking shit. For the Browns, Deshaun Watson went 22 for 40, 235 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Jerome Ford took the place of Chubb, carrying it 16 times for 106 yards. For receiving, it was Amari Cooper, 7 catches in the air for 90 yards. For the Steelers, Kenny Pickett went 15 for 30, 222 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Najee Harris carried it 10 times for 43 yards. And for receiving, George Pickens caught it 4 times for 127 yards and a touchdown. The nail in the coffin came when TJ Watt recovered a fumble and took it for a touchdown to make it this final score 26-22. The Browns just, I don't know, man. And with that Nick Chubb injury, it's really going to hurt them. But again, I'm wishing Nick Chubb a very speedy recovery. God help. And that will do it for this week's episode of the Week in Review. Hope you guys did enjoy. Also, real quick, I just want to say thank you guys for blowing up the other Week in Review from last week. It was freaking awesome seeing the amount of people that came in and watched it. I think right now it's around 370 views at the time of this recording. It's still fucking phenomenal. So again, I thank you guys. And again, hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, leave a like. Comment down below if you guys want to see anything next. If you haven't done so already, subscribe and join the Logical Nation. But until next time, je suis de la Canadienne. Bon nuit et au revoir.